Take number 4. Hopefully I get it right this time because I want to finish up my night routine and go to sleep. And I'm going to explain kind of what this video is going to be about. This is my second video on this channel. And as I mentioned in the first video, my main focus is really talking about some of the life lessons I learned through my self-improvement and discipline as I live here in the Eastern Sierra Nevada mountains for the next 5 months. And the topic for today was a thought that popped in my mind today. And I guess I'll give you the idea that popped in my mind, and then I'll explain the depth of it and how it ties to my life and the lesson I learned. So, the idea that really popped into my mind was that people who look at the world as black and white, who look at it in a very intense and a very passionate way, I guess if you want to put it, miss the fine details that could really help them to grow to that next level. And now, I guess to better explain what I mean by that is intensity can be your best friend. It definitely was for me going into a lot of my goals because it leads you to make progress a whole lot faster and to really surpass a lot of people. But at the same time, that intensity, it has to come from a place of wanting to grow and from a higher vibration as opposed to coming from a place of black or white, or in a sense tying so much value and worth to the thing that you're doing. For myself specifically, my journey with self-improvement and discipline started from a place where I was depressed. I had low self-esteem, I had insecurities, I had all these kinds of things that really just were painful and that I ignored and that I ran away from. And at the time, I was doing a lot of partying, drinking, smoking, going out. I was staying out till 3 a.m. every single day, and barely seeing my family. And I thought that at the time, I thought I was doing it because I enjoyed doing those things and because that's what I wanted to do. But once I really kind of stepped away from those things and woke up, I realized that they were just another escape that I was using to get away from my inner pain. And I think a lot of people are not at the point where they've realized that yet, that the reason they drink or smoke is not because it's fun and they enjoy having fun with it. I'm sure some people, like, don't get me wrong, drinking is fun, man. I love it. But at the same time, a lot of people who do it chronically and who do it a lot, like I did, like drinking every day, smoking every single day, they do it to escape a pain that they have within them, whether they're aware of it or not. And before I kind of dive into this whole idea of black and white and intensity, I'm going to kind of explain to you really how I started to notice this pain within me, because maybe you haven't noticed this pain within yourself yet. But hopefully, if it is something that you do have, I can help you to kind of open your eyes to that. And so this is how I discovered the pain that I had. And for me, as I mentioned at the time, I was constantly smoking, drinking, going out all the time, and just feeling good. To be honest, I felt good. And the reason I felt good was because my ego was high. So I was getting constant validation from the friends I was hanging out with and the things that I was doing, to where my ego allowed me to be numbed or blinded to the pain within me that I was discussing in terms of low self-esteem and insecurities and just feeling like I wasn't enough. And I think where I really started to notice this pain was when I started to spend time alone. There are people out there, who are necessarily more comfortable being at home all the time. And I'm sure you know someone like this as well, who really you have to kind of hit them up to get them out the house because they're just so comfortable being at home all the time. Either they're watching TV, playing video games, whatever it is, they love being at home. And maybe you're like me, but I was the complete opposite of that, to where I really loved being outside of the house. And for me, it wasn't comfortable to be at home. I felt like I was wasting time. Every time I'd spend a day at home, even if I was sick or if I just didn't have anything to do and I spent the whole day in the house, I felt like I wasted a day of my life. That's how addicted I was to being out of the house, to doing things, to going out with friends and having fun. And once I actually took a break from all that, and I'm not really gonna get into the details of why, but once I took a break from all that and started spending more time at home and with myself, I started to realize how much I fucking hated it and how much pain there was there about being alone. Because if you're someone who can't be alone with yourself, then it means you need to be alone with yourself. And it means that there's something wrong, because you should be most comfortable with yourself rather than with other people. If you're uncomfortable being alone and comfortable being around others, it means that there's some sort of pain within you that needs to be resolved. If this is something that you feel like you can kind of relate to, hopefully I kind of opened your eyes to the idea that there is pain there that needs to be addressed. If you're the type of person who's always outside the house, always partying, this and that, and you haven't really gotten a chance to notice it, I encourage you to spend a week at home, not hang out with anyone, just spend 7 days in your house, in your room, whatever you want to do, read, whatever, figure out some stuff to do, and see if you're as happy as you are when you're outside of the house. Because don't get me wrong, it's fun to be with friends, but if you're at that point where you need to be out of the house to feel good about yourself, then there's something wrong. And that's where I kind of really started to see this pain. And that's what really kind of changed my perception of self improvement and discipline, and opened my eyes to it specifically as well, when I got onto it. Because initially, when I got onto it, again, like I said, it was a high for me. It was an ego boost, and very similar to like socializing and going out. It was a huge ego boost to feel like I was disciplined, like I was making progress, like I was doing something. And so for me, I rode that ego boost until the day that I slipped off or that I burned out. When that happened, I got sent straight back into that depression because I never actually addressed or fixed that depression. I just used my self improvement as another escape, another way to get out of it. And that was really my black and white mindset, because going into self improvement and discipline, I looked at it as like, are you a disciplined person or are you a bum? And this is something that's painted a lot online of like, if you don't, lock in on business or discipline or whatever it is, and you're a Jeffrey or a bum or whatever it is. For me, I painted that picture in my head as well of black and white. And if I wasn't 100%, black, then I was white. If I wasn't 100% white, then I was black. And that was the issue, is that there's no in between, and it doesn't allow you to really be consistent, because the moment that you slip up or that you miss something, you go 10 times harder on yourself than you really should be. I mean, for example, I could go a whole month of cold showers, meditation, journaling, exercising, and then I miss it for one day. And it makes me want to quit the whole thing because I just tied so much of my self value and self worth to being disciplined. And when I realized that I wasn't that image of discipline that I pictured in my head, it sent me right back to that depression and that pain that I initially had, and sent me running right back to drinking, smoking, and hanging out with friends 24/7. And I guess that's really the whole message behind that kind of phrase that came to my mind earlier today was, you miss a lot of things when you're thinking in black and white, because you may think, oh, I'm disciplined, I'm good. But you're completely missing that you're still depressed, that you still have that pain, and that you're putting so much effort and reliance into discipline that if it fails, you're gonna fail. I kind of talked a lot in this video. I really hope that the message was kind of clear and easy to understand. And my overall goal with this is to save you the time that I blew during my first year of self-improvement, because I went into a lot of ruts and had to pull myself out of them and then fall back in them and pull myself out of them, and I couldn't figure out why that was happening. And once I realized that it was happening because I was tying so much self-worth and self-value and intensity to my self-improvement, I was able to start to get into therapy, start to do more of that inner healing work towards my own trauma and my own, pain, and start to resolve those issues so that I wasn't setting it as a black or white image of like, am I disciplined or am I a depressed bum? Today, I was supposed to go sprinting in the morning, and then the power went out in the building, and they had to have me start work an hour and a half early to, help them out because they were trying to get things running with the power off. And so I didn't get to do my sprint workout in the morning. I didn't get to meditate in the morning. And, the old me might have looked at that as like, fuck, I messed up. I failed, back to square one. But I'm here after work. I hit a workout. I'm recording this video. I'm about to go read. I'm about to go meditate again. So at the end of the day, these kinds of things, they're not the end all or be all. And if you're the type of person who's new to self-improvement, or who finds yourself falling in and out of ruts and can't figure out why, it's either like you're super disciplined or you fall back to complete degeneracy, I highly recommend that you do a lot more kind of inner searching, and look at the pain that you might have and start to address that. Because not just in self-improvement, but all areas of your life, fixing that will make you so much happier. And even if you don't end up being successful, even if you don't end up becoming a millionaire or becoming super jacked or whatever it is that your goal is, if you're someone who's already healed that pain inside, you can still be happy with who you are right here, right now. And all those additional things like getting ripped or getting a ton of money are just going to be frosting on top of the cake, because you got to achieve those things while feeling good about yourself rather than making those things the reason that you feel good about yourself. All right, well, hopefully this is something that really opened your guys' eyes. This is a mistake and a lesson that took me so long to learn. And so I'm really hoping I can save a lot of you guys time so that you don't either keep falling into ruts or give up on self-improvement entirely because you find it's not working. And if this is something that really did help you guys, please tune in for the next video. I'm going to make another one tomorrow about another lesson that I learned. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.